Welcome to episode 2 of Euro Previews, and today's episode is all about Scotland. Scotland, who have never progressed out of the group stage in a European or a World Cup, are looking to make history this summer. With a very challenging group, but one that they can progress, is this finally the time for Scotland and Steve Clarke to create history for the nation? Well, to help me with the preview today, we have Doug from the Dugout Football channel. Remember to go check out his channel in the description down below, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. How far do you think Scotland can go in this Euros, or is it going to be another group stage exit? Remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and remember to check out the sponsor of the channel, SofaScore, where you can check out all the stats from all the leagues and check out who is going to win the Scottish Premier League. Is it going to be Celtic or Rangers? Now, let's get into the preview for Scotland. The last time Scotland qualified for back-to-back appearances for the Euros was 92 and 96. Now it is Euro 2024. And Scotland were amazing, I thought, in the group stage, obviously, for the qualifiers. Really playing some fantastic football, taking it to Spain, beating them at home. Scott McSauce just saucing it on the field with all the goals he was scoring. What is the mood really for Scotland heading into these Euros? Is there a bit more expectation? You know, the last one, you guys had 2 games at home, and Glasgow obviously was during COVID, so we really didn't feel the atmosphere. But do you think there's now bigger expectations this time around that, hey, you know what? Last time, fairy tale story, we finally qualified, we got that monkey off our back. This time around, make a significant impact on this Euro. So what is your sort of mood heading into these Euros?
My mood is just been all the same. I'm looking forward to it. I think after you've been I was at all 4 of the qualifiers at Hampden Park, so it was amazing to be at. You know, ever since the draw came out, you know, Germany in the first game. Yeah, I know it's the first game, but I think that's the best time to play them because you don't know what they're going to be like. I mean, they've been dreadful the last couple of games that I've seen them in. I think the group itself could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse. I actually think if you want my honest opinion, this could be a potential group of death. Because you've got Germany, you've got Hungary, who are a very, very good side. You've got a Switzerland side who always seem to, you know, perform at these kind of tournaments. So, you know, it's a very good opportunity to get out of this group, especially to try and be one of the, you know, the third place teams, or even better, first or second.
This group was actually almost in a way perfect because obviously, yeah, you're going to play Germany, and nobody knows what Germany's going to show up. I don't think even Germany know what they're going to show up as. They're just a complete mess. Then you got Hungary. Obviously, Hungary are a very good team, and then Switzerland, who lately haven't been good, but we see in major tournaments they just turn it on and turn into a good team. So I think all 3 games are going to be super fascinating to see what goes down and who's really going to take initiative in this group. What is one strength that really gives this Scottish side something to worry for the other teams in the group then?
We have a tendency to pass the ball around very, very well. Usually when it was obviously Steve Clarke, it would usually be sort of like lump the ball up to the striker. But I've been kind of noticing this time around, we seem to be passing the ball very, very nicely. Seems to be back from front, from like obviously Angus Gunn to Ryan Porteous to obviously Scott McTominay, who we will get on to, who's been an absolute revelation in this side. Got a really, really good togetherness this Scotland side, and look, the wins against the win against Spain at Hampden Park was absolutely monumental. I think what has happened is that Steve Clarke has actually brought in a lovely wee passing movement now in the Scotland side. Look, it might not be pretty to watch at some stages, but when the players really do get on it, they really do get on really, really well. Team that we've had recently, Angus Gunn, who came in and been very, very good in goal. I think the strength in our team is probably the defence. I would say weaknesses, I still think we're lacking something up front. You know, we've had Lyndon Dykes, we've had Che Adams, we've had Jacob Brown, who is dreadful. really, really, really bad. And the one player who doesn't really get in the Scotland side is Lawrence Shankland, who I think has scored 25 plus goals for Hearts this season. So going into it, you would probably say Lyndon Dykes is probably the number 1 striker. Then it's probably Che Adams, but then it's probably Lawrence Shankland. But if we're putting it on form, Shankland has to be a shoo-in for that.
When I look at your midfield options, John McGinn, Scott McSauce, Billy Gilmore, I can go on and on. Like the midfield really, when you're talking about the passing, and you've watched all the Scotland games, I can't say I've watched every Scottish game, But when I hear those names, I think, okay, you can beat the press, able to counterattack, very good in transition. The only issue is, yes, I think you guys scored a lot of goals during the qualifiers, but when it gets to tournament football, you need that sort of guy to step up. Obviously, Scott McTominay has done that during the qualifiers. I mean, do you trust Lyndon Dykes then to step up in the big moments? Not really.
So I'm hoping that kind of changes Clark's thinking, because he will know that there's players that are, I think someone at Bristol City called Tommy Conway, I think, who has been scoring goals for fun as well. I think when it comes to the squad selection, I think there may be a few surprises, I would say the attack, yeah. I think you'll see, I think Lyndon Dykes and Shea Adams are probably shoe-ins. Then I think Shanklin's probably going to be a shoe-in as well. And then it's like a question mark of, does he take Jacob Brown? Now, I watched Scotland against Norway. He missed an absolute sitter. And he was very, very poor. He was very, very poor in that aspect as well. So I don't think he will be picked. Kevin Nisbet, again, I've not seen much in Millwall, so I can't really say that he's got a chance. So maybe you might see a Tommy Conway from Bristol City. I mean, there's one player I really want to see who never gets into these sides, is Ryan Gold, who's been lighting it up, I think, in the MLS. So I would like to just see maybe a couple of players who haven't been in these squads for a while, and just get them the experience that they can get.
I think for the midfield, it kind of chooses itself, because I mean, you even got Lewis Ferguson, he's balling out with
fantastic.
Bologna. He's been fantastic with Bologna this season. So, okay, if you lose a couple players in the midfield, then you have good options off the bench. It's just the attack that maybe, tournament football is very different to qualifiers. Qualifiers, it's sort of league format where it's a bit of a grind. Obviously, Scotland had a fantastic start, and that's why they were able to qualify. But in tournament football, the pressure mounts, and then who's going to really step up in the key moments? Who is the best player for Scotland?
I think on current form, you'd have to say probably Scott McTominay. The way he's been a revelation in this side. I think Steve Clark has actually given him a new lease of life. But I think the best player, I mean, a lot of people would have probably said one of our best players was probably one of the left backs, maybe Andy Robertson or Kieran Tierney. But for me, it's Super John McGinn. Has to be.
Yep.
He has been incredible. He was incredible in the qualifiers, and he's been incredible ever since he put a Scotland top on. Always seems to perform for club and country. So for me, it's got to be Super John McGinn.
So John McGinn, big game player, and I think that's what Scotland needs. I don't think he wasn't really in that form in 2021 when you guys qualified. Now under Unai Emery, you're seeing a completely different John McGinn, and I think that's really going to help you guys out. What's a player to watch out for then for Scotland?
I'd say Billy Gilmore. I think he's gone under the radar quite recently. Obviously scored his first goal in what was a sort of a BC team against France when they lost 4-1. Basically, Franz Clare gives it straight to Billy Gilmore, and Billy Gilmore just hits it and it goes in the back of the net. I think the midfield is the biggest strength in our team, and I think Billy Gilmore is one that will definitely go under the radar. I'm going to say Ryan Porteous as well. Watch out for him. He's been doing well at Watford. He seems to have done well since he came into the side. And I'd even say Angus Gunn as well, because we were going through a spell of which keeper is probably the best one. We obviously had David Marshall. We've had Xander Clark. You've had Liam Kelly, I think, as well. But I think now the number one definitely for me is probably Angus Gunn. So there's definitely a few to watch in this side.
I was gonna say Lewis Ferguson. I think he's really going under the radar. I don't think he has a lot of caps for Scotland, if I'm not mistaken. But I've seen a couple of Bologna games this year, and I'm like, this guy is just controlling the midfield, finding the goals. He scored a beautiful volley against Atalanta. This guy should be starting for Scotland. And then I'm like, wait, there's Billy Gilmore, there's John McGinn, there's Scott McSauce. I mean, he can't even start for them. So I think he sort of is an underrated player who could become a very important player during the Euros. And with the way he's playing for Bologna, and if he helps Bologna get Champions League football, I think a lot of Scottish people got to look at that and say that's an incredible achievement. And he's been captain for most of the season as well for Bologna. So I know this is very far away. But what is your prediction for the Euros? What is a realistic prediction? And also, what do you expect from this team?
If we can get past the group stage. I think that's the one thing I've been wanting to say about a Scotland side, is to get past the group stage, I think would be success in itself. After that, it is completely a bonus. Maybe 1 point off Germany. I think we can beat Switzerland. I think we can beat Switzerland. It's that Hungary game that could be very, very interesting. You know, if you get 3 points, if you get a point of, I think if you get a point of Germany, it's an absolute bonus. Like if you beat Switzerland, then that's 3 points, and then you could potentially go in there as one of the, the best third place finishes. I think there is a real incentive to get 4 points from this group, because I think the Hungary game, Hungary are a real different kettle of fish when it comes to Switzerland and Germany. I've been very impressed with this Hungary side, and obviously Dominic Soboslai. I think we can get 4 points in this group, be one of those third place, the best third place finishes, or even second. To get past the group stage would be success in itself. So I'm going to predict we'll get 4 points, and I think we can get through the group stage.
So round of 16 is your prediction, really?
I would say round of 16, but I do think we are competitive. I do think we can cause a few surprises, and I'm just bring it on. What, 99, 98, 99, 98 days left? Bring it on.
Yeah. I think if you guys progress out of the group stage, Glasgow might need to have a night of partying, or probably a week of partying. Even if you make it to the round of 16, that would be a huge achievement. But I do agree with that sort of sentiment. I think that Switzerland game, if you got to circle that with a big red and say, this game, we have to win. Germany, Germany are a mess. We understand that. Hungary, very good team. The Switzerland one, you have to win that game. If you get 3 points there, and then you have to look at the other groups and say, okay, maybe we can survive if we lose with this sort of scenario. I think that Switzerland game, you have to win. If you do, then it's looking good for the Tartan Army, and Doug is going to be partying all night in Scotland. So thank you all for watching. Scotland are going to be another fascinating team at this Euros, and their only goal is to make it out of the group. Can Scott McSauce, John McGinn, Billy Gilmore, Andy Robertson, Kieran Tierney do it for their nation this summer? But hey, the Tartan Army are definitely going to be invading Germany. Remember also to check out episode 1 of the Euro 2024 previews with Germany, and of course we've got 22 other nations to go, so keep up with all the previews on the channel. Have a beautiful day, stay safe in this crazy world. Until next time, people. Adios.
Explain something.